Good morning.
Good morning.
How's everybody doing? A little subdued in here. How's everybody doing?
Awesome.
All right, that's much better. That's much better. Okay, so we're going off script right away. Just letting you know. How have many of you live from the idea that you can't do it wrong? Yeah? I had a teacher down in Fort Myers who used to say that all the time. You can't do it wrong. Right? So people who were talking about, I can't meditate. I can't do it right. I can't pray. I don't know how to pray. I don't know how to. You can't do it wrong. I absolutely love that song by Stowe Good. They are amazing duo. Every song I've ever heard them do is very meaningful. And I'm so glad you picked that this morning. I'm going to challenge you all this week, and my friends on Zoom as well. Go out there and live your life this week as if you can't do it wrong and see what happens. Because I think that's a powerful level of consciousness to live from. Very cool. Life has got your back. That was one of the lines in there. Pretty cool, huh? Okay. All right, we're going to go back to the script now. I have been here for, I come once a month, and the last series of talks I did was on those 5 unity principles. And we heard 2 beautiful testimonies of how those principles are working in people's lives. You just open yourself up, you open up your mind, you open up your heart, and you just never know what's going to happen. And part of that series, the talk series I was doing, I challenged you to start thinking about your beliefs. What do I believe? Do I still believe A, B, or C? Whatever you want to fill in there. If you do, go out there and demonstrate it. If you don't, go deeper. Figure out, why don't I believe this anymore? Is it because I'm believing in the appearances around me? All of that other stuff, right? And decide how you're going to demonstrate your divine nature for everyone to see. I'm still in the place where I believe that everybody does have the Christ presence within me. Everybody, no exceptions, which is very hard to do nowadays because there's lots of appearances of people without the Christ presence, right? But I don't believe that. I believe that it's still there. It's hidden. It's asleep. It's whatever. They're not acknowledging it. They're not recognizing it. They're certainly not choosing to use it. But I say it's still there. And the more of us that demonstrate it out in the real world, the more it's going to take hold. The more the tide will start to turn. It takes a lot of work. It didn't take us 2 years or even 5 years to get to this spot, right? I would venture to say it's taken 2,000 or 3,000 years to get to this area, to the place where we're at. Things have been perpetuated over and over and over again. And so we need to break that cycle. It is not something that's easy to do, and it starts with us. Right? I can't sit back on my couch and say, okay, well, I want to see world peace, and then sit on the couch and wait for it to happen. Right? Okay. So I got this booklet from Unity Worldwide Headquarters called Mornings with Myrtle. They send out these booklets all the time. I think you get them for the bookstore, right? And this one was Mornings with Myrtle, and it just sounded adorable. I love Myrtle Fillmore. She was a co-founder of Unity along with her husband, Charles. And some of you may know the story already, but I'm just going to kind of review it a little bit. Myrtle was the catalyst to this Unity movement happening. She used spiritual principles and prayer to heal herself. And when Charles saw what happened, he started doing the same thing. He called it going to headquarters. I just love that. Mother, I'm going to headquarters now. And it started to work for him as well. And so they formed this Unity practice that really was originally, my understanding is originally it was designed to help anybody, anywhere with any faith You didn't have to be Christian. It could help you in any faith that you followed. It was to help you with the centering and the awareness of spirit within. Right? As a child, Myrtle Fillmore was kind of sickly. She had a lot of things going on with her, but even as a child, it's said that she never believed in hell, and she never believed in a punishing God. And she insisted that nothing was too good or too beautiful to be true. Wonder what she would think today if she was here, right? What would she say? She'd probably lead us all into some wonderful thinking processes, I believe. But back in 1889, Myrtle was diagnosed with, I apologize, I don't think that's the right year, but it was back in the late 1800s. Myrtle was diagnosed with both tuberculosis and malaria. She was given about 3 to 4 months to live. She had 3 little children. She was married to Charles, and it didn't look good. It just didn't look good. And she and Charles decided that they were going to seek a spiritual answer. Something was guiding her to seek a spiritual answer. She heard E.B. Weeks speak at a lecture one night in Kansas City, I believe, or in the Midwest somewhere. And she heard E.B. Weeks say the following, and this is very important because this is what started it all. She said, or she heard, "I am a child of God, and therefore I do not inherit sickness." How many of you have heard that quote? Yeah, okay. So I am a child of God, and therefore I do not inherit sickness. This is a woman who has just been told she's going to die very soon. And so she took that idea and it struck a chord with her, and she started to take that idea into prayer and meditation for hours at a time every single day. But she didn't just ponder on that idea. She took it into her consciousness, and I believe she took it as it's true. I don't inherit sickness. She began to rewire her brain into thinking that, wow, maybe I don't. Maybe I don't have to be sickly, right? Maybe I can still be around here. And here's what she did. She started to affirm health for her body, right? And so what she did was she spoke to her body. She spoke to the various parts, the various organs in her body. She apologized to her body for blaming it for her sickness. She apologized for not taking care of it properly. She praised the life in her body, right? So that this is before unity was actually developed and formed. So they didn't have the 12 powers yet, but she's affirming that power of life and that it exists in every cell of her body. And it took her a couple of years, but she was cured. So to cure yourself of tuberculosis and malaria in the late 1800s was unheard of. And Charles watched it. Charles had a very scientific mind. He was, you've got to prove this to me. And he watched her go through this, and he realized that she had caught on to something, but he wasn't quite sure what it was, so he started to experiment as well. And he had issues with his leg. He was in a lot of pain from an issue with that, and it started to work for him as well. His leg was not completely cured, but it definitely improved significantly. And lo and behold, that's how the unity movement developed. Because Myrtle then decided, this is important for me to share with the world. This is important for me to get out there. People really need to know about this stuff, right? Just like we talk about how unity, people really need to know about unity to learn about these principles and kind of get involved, because it's so powerful what we talk about here each week. So, Myrtle believed that our thoughts could build up in our body. So our thoughts, if they're, I'm weak, I'm sick, I can't do it, that's what the body will respond to. And so if I affirm I am healthy, I am whole, I am complete, I am enough, all of those things, the body starts to respond as well. And the confidence level starts to increase, and so on and so forth. And so that's what she demonstrated for first Charles and then for other people. She emphasized the need, I love this, to cooperate in our healing by changing our thinking. And she repeated that there was no magic needed, right? It's all about cooperation. Anybody here ever have an issue with cooperating with something you don't really want to go along with? Like, I know I'm not supposed to have that piece of cake, right? And I just don't want to cooperate with that. I really want to have that dessert, or whatever the case may be. It's about cooperation, but in some cases, it's a bigger deal about this cooperation. So she's about prayer, she's about meditation, sitting in the silence, getting those answers, but apologizing to the body and saying, you know what, thank you. Like I try to do this now. I'm really trying to implement what Myrtle put out there, and I thank my body for doing such a great job when I haven't always been the best caretaker of it. I haven't always made the best choices for the body. So thanks for hanging in there, and it's certainly not going to hurt. And what if it helps, right? So after this has gone on for a little while, Charles and Myrtle feel the need to share this with others. And so she starts by ministering to people, and she shares one-on-one with people. There's a correspondence that gets started, and people send her letters, and she writes back to them, and she says things like, oh honey, you're doing it wrong. And then just after we sing the song, you can't do it wrong, but she says no, you've got to do it this way. But she was very direct and very loving. And there's a book, Myrtle's Healing Letters, which is a great book to read. It always speaks to me. She's got a lot of stuff out there. And I want to make you aware of this. On the unity.org website, there is a section called the Myrtle Archive. And it's got things like, she started a magazine called We Wisdom for little ones. And there's other documents as well, and there's images of Myrtle and the whole 9 yards. So I would encourage you to look into it and see what our co-founder was all about and what she started. So I want to share a couple of quotes with you that she is famous for. Myrtle wrote, "Those who believe in God know that everything is possible with God. When we come to believe this, we are not astonished at anything. Our minds are opened more and more, and we expect wonderful new things to come to us day by day." Do you expect wonderful things to come to you every day? I will confess I don't expect it every day. I do expect it more than I ever have before. I am making progress, right? But I don't always find myself expecting wonderful things. She says that, when we come to believe that anything is possible, she says we're not astonished at anything. Well, I'll be honest with you too. I'm astonished sometimes at what's going on either side of the coin, right? The good things and the not so good things. But if I'm open and receptive to receiving the guidance from that infinite source within, I do honestly believe that anything can happen. Anything can unfold, right? Open and receptive. Nothing is impossible to attain. This is now this material I'm sharing in this moment. The first part was Myrtle. This next part, I'm open and receptive, and nothing's impossible. Have an open mind and heart to unlimited possibilities of wholeness in mind, body, and spirit. So that's the whole idea behind this, right? That second part is from Reverend Sandra Campbell, who wrote an excerpt in that little booklet. You just do one a day. It's really cool. And so wholeness in mind, body, and spirit. That sounds like alignment, being in alignment to me, right? Now, I already know that spirit is already whole and complete, right? At our core, we're already perfect. We don't have to worry about a thing, spirit level wise, our higher self, so to speak. But body and mind need to join the parade, in my mind, right? They need to get on board, for crying out loud. So how do I do that? Open mind, open heart, both, to be willing to consider the possibilities, right? I raise my expectations, Reverend Sandra wrote, immersing myself in the divine presence within. It's perfect. Absolutely perfect. So prayer, meditation, I cooperate with the healing, I cooperate with my body, I say thank you. Thank you for doing what you're doing so that I can be here and I can experience this and take it away and see where spirit guides us next. Did you notice the daily word was right on target with what I've been talking about? The daily word was, my prosperity's unlimited and I claim my good now, which is what Myrtle was teaching. I didn't plan this, by the way. I didn't write to them a year ago and say, please put this on August 17th. They plan these a long ways out. They pick the words probably a year and a half in advance. And they align them with, different holidays and things that are coming up, events and so on. So I had no control over this. Anyway, it talks about the lion. So Daniel was thrown into this lion's den and he came out unhurt, right? And it just amazed King Darius. And then King Darius declares, oh, abundance for all, blah, 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 right? But here's the thing. How does that affect my life here and now? How does that affect me? How can I put that into implementation? And that second paragraph in the Daily Word says, today the lions I face may be rising prices when shopping, greater costs for basic needs. I got to tell you, there's a lot of lions out there that I'm seeing. A lot. And it's not just about the economy. It's about the way people are treating each other. I don't care what side you're on. It's about the way things are our planet, how things are going for our planet right now, right? They appear to be big, big lions, right? So even in that den of apparent lack or apparent danger or whatever, the Daily Word says, my prosperity is unlimited. Do you believe that? Some wheels are turning. A couple of heads are nodding. Some are pondering. I get it. I'm not sure that at any given moment I'm always remembering about abundance. I'm not sure I'm always in that awareness, right? It's there. I believe it. It's just not something I'm able to remember and recall and live from 100% of the time. So I'm making my way through there. That's my goal, is to try and get to 100% awareness. I think that's when I become Jesus again. Is when I get there. So I'll let you know, and you can all join me. Right? But the whole idea here is that I want to leave you with this understanding that it is possible to live from this understanding. Myrtle did it. Charles did it. And I'm sure, I wasn't around, but I am sure that they weren't perfect every day. Right? But the ideas here, I believe with all of my heart, they practiced on a regular basis and they shared with others and they wanted other people to know how this could be done. And it unfolds differently for all of us, right? So, so what are we going to take away from today's talk? Okay, you can't do it wrong, right? Possibilities are endless and unlimited, right? And, and we're going to cooperate. How about that? How about those three things? I like that idea, right? You can't do it wrong. However you get there, however you try to get there, whatever path you choose, it's so much more than so many others are doing. There are so many out there that aren't even trying anymore. They're down. They don't feel motivated anymore. There's a lot of heaviness in the world right now. It's probably always been there, but it's much more noticeable now. I think I blame social media for all of this, that I'm aware of way too much. I don't want to know about all this stuff all the time in real time, right? But this is the way it is. So I go to acceptance and I understand. But there are a lot of good suggestions coming from Myrtle Fillmore. I think we should follow it and see where it takes us. You with me?
Yeah.
All right. Next month, we'll talk some more about Myrtle. And so it is. Amen.
Amen.
All right. So now we're going to take a little bit of this into a meditation. So I invite you to get comfortable wherever you are. And just start by taking a couple of deep breaths. Close your eyes if you feel comfortable doing so. And we're just going to focus on the affirmations from Myrtle, the ideas of prosperity and abundance. Take a deep breath. And as you exhale out, feel the muscles in your body relaxing. With each breath, you relax more and more. Release the thoughts that have been going on. Just let them go for just a few minutes. And may the words that I speak now be the words of your own heart. I am divine in nature, and therefore I do not inherit sickness. Organ by organ, cell by cell, I praise the divine life in this body that I am using. Through the power of prayer, I awaken my inner divinity as it aligns with the Christ presence within. Today I declare I expect wonderful new things to come day by day. Nothing is impossible to attain. Prosperity comes through me, not to me. Prosperity comes through me, not to me. I am committed to working with Divine Mind to bring about transformation. I remember that I am always fully connected to Spirit. And my awareness of this establishes and fortifies an attitude of deservedness and endless abundance. I am divinity in expression. I do not inherit sickness. I do not hold on to negativity. I release it all and focus on shining my light. My prosperity is unlimited, and I claim my good now. Today I claim prosperity for myself and all others. I remember there is plenty for all. And so it is. Amen. Before you open your eyes, take a deep breath with me. As we exhale out, we begin to bring our attention back to this place and this time. We claim our prosperity as our inheritance. And when you're ready, you may open your eyes. Welcome back, friends.